Leo, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of September. So before I jump into this is going to be most applicable for your rising sign, which is how other people perceive you, especially when they first meet you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, that's how you express yourself, as well as your moon sign, which is that internal lens, so how you process everything emotionally. So that's your moon sign. So if you understand all three, it kind of gives you a better picture on how the month is going to play out for you. Normally I have a little bit about the month here, but there's so much happening. I'm just going to jump right in because right away on the 1st, we have Uranus stationing retrograde in the sign of Taurus. It happens at 11:18 in the morning Eastern time. Uranus is one of two planets of transformation. So this is that sudden transformation. If you think about tarot readings, it's the Tower card showing up in real life, and it's just that sudden change. And because Uranus is now, so instead of the change being external, it's now internal with this retrograde energy. And so when it's retrograde in the sign of Taurus, this is a lot of internal change, things that would be happening suddenly to you. But in the sign of Taurus, this is very grounded and practical and really focused here on what you value. So think of all the things in your life that just don't matter anymore. Think of all the things that internally, maybe in ways you've held yourself back. Uranus is here to really remove those obstacles from your path. For you, Taurus is your 10th house of career and public reputation. So Uranus sitting retrograde in this house does indicate that any kind of, I want to say structures, because I keep getting that word structures, but whatever you've thought of in relation to your career, whatever plans that you've had for yourself, whatever it is that you've been trying to do here, there is going to be some sort of sudden internal change to how your career is going to progress, maybe things that you've thought about doing in your career. It could also be your public reputation. That is that 10th house energy as well. And so Uranus retrograde in Taurus will trine Venus in Libra. And so Venus, it's one of those benefic planets. There's two. And so Venus likes to bring things together, harmony, balance in the sign of Libra. It's at home in the sign of Libra. And so Libra for you is your 3rd house. So you can kind of already see what's happening here. So as it relates to your career, some sort of sudden internal change in the way that you see your career, maybe what you're trying to achieve in your career, it's going to easily blend with however you're maybe talking to other people. So this is where public reputation might be more significant than your career, or maybe your career involves some sort of communication with that 3rd house energy. And so it's an easy blend of energy. There's nothing you need to do in order to make this a reality. Uranus retrograde in Taurus will also trine Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And so we have these two planets of transformation. We've got Uranus that's retrograde. We already have Pluto that is retrograde. So whereas Uranus is that sudden, let's change, let's remove all this stuff from your path, we've got Pluto that's death and rebirth. And so it's a little bit different of a transformation. This Pluto retrograde is sitting in your 7th house. So if you're married, it would be that relationship, that marriage partner, some sort of significant other, your one-to-one relationships. And so whatever is changing within your career, and again, these would be internal changes in your career, it's going to easily flow with whatever changes are taking place within that relationship. So there's other internal changes that are taking place as it relates to your spouse, marriage partner, anybody that really kind of qualifies as that kind of significant other label, if you want to use that word. So this could be somebody that you're living with for a long period of time, and maybe you act as though you're married. It's that kind of relationship here. And again, easy blend of energy, nothing you need to do to make that a reality. We also have Uranus retrograde in Taurus, sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so we've got these sudden internal changes as they relate to your career, your public reputation. It's going to create some sort of opportunity here for additional change to take place. Pisces occupies your 8th house. It's all about transformation. It is the house of death and rebirth. It's also about the income that you earn. And so when you think about it from a career standpoint, this is money that comes in from an outside source. This is that money that you earn. And so it's creating an opportunity for maybe you to have the income that you want here. So these would be internal changes, maybe blocks to things that you would have wanted in the past, like those blocks that you put into place, those limitations are being removed. And it's creating some sort of opportunity for you to have and maybe earn the finances that you want here. Because Neptune retrograde in Pisces, it's a lot of internal reflection because again, it's retrograde, but it is about your goals and your dreams and what exactly you want here. We also have Uranus and Taurus square the moon in Leo. And so those sudden internal changes in your career, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to maybe feeling confident about yourself. There's a lot of transformation taking place, so I'm not at all surprised to see this one coming up, because in the midst of all this change, it is going to rock you a little bit. Not in a negative way, but it's more of like the dust has to settle before you can kind of step back into your Leo energy. And so I wouldn't hold on to that one too strongly. The moon changes signs every couple of days. This energy is not going to last. We also have Uranus retrograde in Taurus, square Mercury in Leo. And so those sudden internal changes in your career or public reputation, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to something around the way that you're communicating, because Mercury is the planet of communication. In your sign, it relates to your physical person. So there might be something that you're trying to articulate about yourself or express yourself in some sort of way, and it's just creating an obstacle or challenge to you maybe being able to do that in a bold, dynamic way, because that's your energy. So very bold, very dynamic. And again, it just feels more like with Moon in Leo, Mercury in Leo, now's not the right time to maybe express how you're feeling about yourself or anything like that, because it's almost like with all this change, you just need to kind of let things settle down. On the same day that we have Uranus station retrograde, we have Pluto re-enter the sign of Capricorn. I almost said Aquarius. And so right now it's in Aquarius. To kind of give a little bit on this, Pluto's been kind of in and out of these two signs. And so we saw this earlier in the year. This is the last time in our lifetime that Pluto is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. This one is pretty significant just because it's going to be closing out old chapters. Pluto retrograde, so it's in Aquarius, it's going to move back into Capricorn. Capricorn, it's all about strategy and structures and the things that we put into place. And so now you're kind of giving one last pass at all of the structures that you've put into place. For you, Capricorn is in your 6th house of daily life. So think about all the things that you do on a regular basis. Your work. What does your work life look like? What does your home life look like? What kind of exercise program do you follow or do you not follow? What does your diet look like? All of those things are part of that 6th house energy. And so there might be some just a reconsideration of all the structures that you've already put into place in your daily life. Do you need to get rid of anything here in your daily life? That's what this Pluto re-entering the sign of Capricorn is going to provide you. And really the emphasis here is what kind of flexibility do you need to incorporate in your daily life? Because when Pluto went into Aquarius, it kind of showed you what liberation looks like. It showed you where these structures just don't belong anymore, because Aquarius wants to break down all the structures that Capricorn creates, but not in a negative way. It's really meant to free you and show you that you can accomplish more if you just kind of loosen the reins a little bit. And so now you're kind of taking those lessons, bringing them back into this Capricorn energy and really taking another critical eye at all these structures. Pluto's actually going to be in Capricorn until November 19th. And so what happens right now, it's retrograde, so it's sliding backwards. It will station direct on October 11th, and then it will move back into Aquarius on November 19th, where it's going to stay for roughly 20 years. But when this Pluto stations retrograde or re-enters Capricorn, it will trine Venus in Libra. And so reevaluating that daily life you built for yourself. What kind of structures do you have in place? What have you done here? What do you need to change? It's going to easily blend with whatever it is that you're trying to bring together. This could be something connected to relationships. We do have Venus in Libra. Venus is all about relationships, so is Libra, but this is sitting in your 3rd house. And so what you're really trying to do here in your daily life is bring things together through some sort of communication, or it could be processing information. Mercury does communication and processing information. So it's really, it could go either way here, but there's a lot of analysis, I would say is the right word, to discuss your daily life and the way that things are going and what modifications you want to make here. We also have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so again, because we just saw this earlier in the day, but now Pluto has moved signs. And so Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, you're really rethinking your daily life as it relates to these changes that are taking place in your career or public reputation. How do you kind of find or like maybe maintain some sort of harmony here? It's a trine energy, so it's going to actually go a lot easier than you think. It's not any effort is going to be required. This is all going to blend together. This is all going to easily flow. We'll have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So much transformation here at the beginning of the month. And so Whatever changes or structures exist in your daily life that you might want to modify, it's creating some sort of opportunity for even more transformation to take place, because that Pisces energy is sitting in your 8th house of transformation. It's also, again, that money that you earn, any money from an outside source. So this could be an inheritance of some sort, your spouse's income. It doesn't necessarily have to be just the money that you make from an outside source. There could be other contributing factors here. Could also relate to debt, but whatever it is, it's creating some sort of opportunity that could relate to money that's coming in, as well as transformation. Then we have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, square Chiron retrograde in Aries. And you can see there's a lot of retrogrades happening right now. So rethinking all these structures in your daily life, just the way that everything has kind of come together, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to some sort of wound that has been coming to the surface. This is not going to be new information to you. Chiron and Aries, we've been dealing with this for a while. More specifically, we've been dealing with this wound that's been coming to the surface over the last roughly 4 to 5 months. It really started making itself known during the eclipse back in April. And so Chiron retrograde in Aries indicates that you need to take some sort of action. But right now it feels a lot like maybe it's not the right time, because you have so many other things that are taking place. Is now really the right time to kind of heal this wound that's been coming to the surface? And the wound is connected to 9th house energy. So this would be big picture. What are you maybe afraid to do, feel insecure about? This could relate to higher education, any kind of growth or expansion, long distance travel. And so whatever that wound is, it just feels like maybe now's not the time to kind of address it. You can easily, I wouldn't say easily, but you can. It's a square energy. You just have to work through it. That's all on the 1st. And then on the 2nd, we have the new moon in the sign of Virgo. So that's going to happen at 9:55 p.m. Eastern time. And so when this happens, you have the sun and the moon. They're at the same degree point in the sky, so they're overlapping each other. Complete blend of energies. So this is really a lot of expressing how you feel in a way that just kind of feels good. It feels light. It's like all your emotions have the sun kind of beaming down on them. And so the Virgo energy, it's a very healing energy. It's a lot of, Virgo is a deep thinker, but it's also for the purpose of healing. That's Virgo's, like, I would say, number one positive trait is the healing piece. For you, Virgo is in your 2nd house of personal finances. So you had your 8th house, which is those other people's money coming in. 2nd house, which is where this is. This would be money that you already have. Think of your savings that you already have, investments that you've already made, whatever you already have that you kind of value, that's contained within the 2nd house. And so how do you feel about your finances? What is it that you like about your finances? How do your finances make you feel? And then expressing it. That's what this is all about. During this new moon, the sun and moon will square Jupiter in Gemini. And so Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter's one of the 2 benefic planets. It's Venus and Jupiter. Jupiter being the more benefic of the 2, but it's not at its full strength in the sign of Gemini. It's actually the ruler of Sagittarius. Gemini is the opposite, so it's at its weakest point right now, but it's still positive. And so however you feel about your personal finances here, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to maybe growth and expansion within your community. And that's where Gemini sits for you. It sits in that 11th house. And so what this really means is maybe you are more interested in saving money right now, so you're not going out and spending money with friends. It could be something as simple as that, because that would be a square energy where they're not on the same page. You can work through it. You can find the happy medium. You just have to work through the energy. We'll also have the sun and moon opposite, Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So Pisces, again, your goals, your dreams, things like that, but it's sitting in that 8th house of transformation. We have Saturn that is retrograde in that house. So you're doing a lot of internal work, a lot of internal reflection, and kind of trying to understand what is it that you need to accomplish? What do you need to change here? Because that's that 8th house energy. And so we've got how you're expressing yourself. How do you feel about your personal finances? It's going to be opposite maybe the money that you make, the effort and energy that you're putting into that 8th house energy. So this could be that maybe you feel like you need to earn more money, or that you're not able to save as much money as you want because you do need to make more money, or that you're spending too much. There could be some energy here, but the push-pull really does seem to relate to money more than anything else. And this would be the money that you earn versus the money that you have, or the money that you keep. And so it could be that kind of push-pull energy. You can work with it. You just have to find a way to do it. And then on the 4th, we have Mars enter the sign of Cancer. So that's going to happen at 3:46 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so Mars is the planet of action. So it's the ruler of Aries. This is Mars, the god of war, in Cancer. So Cancer is the most emotional sign in the zodiac. Is probably the best way of phrasing this. So this would be taking some sort of action connected to your feelings. You feel very strongly about the action that you would be taking here. Mars in Cancer for you is transiting your 12th house. Your 12th house is the house of the subconscious. It's the inner you. It's you away from the public eye here. And so there's some sort of action connected to your inner self, something that you want to do here. It's going to create an opportunity for you to really speak your mind. Absolutely speak your mind, because we'll have Mars in Cancer, sextile Mercury in Leo, and Mercury being the planet of communication, Leo being you. So this is your physical self. So this is a lot of, I need to take some sort of action because I feel a certain way and now I need to express it. So it's that energy coming through. We'll also have Mars in Cancer square the moon in Libra. And the moon in Libra, so again, thinking about your feelings, this is a lot of feelings energy. In Libra, so feeling balanced, maybe having some sort of balanced conversation around how you feel. And so what you're seeing is you're taking some sort of action connected to your feelings. And it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to feeling balanced. Maybe feeling balanced, communicating in a way that is very balanced. It just feels like there's a need to get something off your chest. There's a need to really do something here that might be different than what you're used to, because it's really acting out your feelings, but it's something that feels like it's been suppressed and you just need to get it out. We'll also have Mars in Cancer square Venus in Libra. And so Venus in Libra, what do you value? What kind of balance do you value as it relates to your communication or even understanding everything happening around you? And so this is where acting out your feelings is creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to feeling balanced, or maybe communicating in a way that is very harmonious and kind of brings people together. It would just be something where it's a challenge. You can overcome it. You can find that balance. And then we'll have Mars in Cancer square Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so Mars in Cancer, again, acting out your feelings, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to maybe the money that you want to make. That Neptune retrograde in Pisces sitting in your 8th house. So this would be the money that you're earning, maybe some sort of transformation that you want to take place. And so it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge there. But again, this doesn't feel like it's going to be there for a long period of time. The Mars in Cancer energy, I mean, it's going to be here for a little while, but it's going to move on. Mars is one of those closer planets that moves quicker. And then we have Mercury enter the sign of Virgo. So that's going to happen on the 9th at 2:50 in the morning Eastern time. And so Virgo, again, being this energy of healing, let's reflect on things. Let's kind of process, move through everything. In the tarot, it is hermit energy. So it's a lot of that. Let me take that step back, think about things, maybe even overthink about things a little bit, get a little bit too critical, but really for the sake of healing. And so with Mercury in this sign, Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury in Virgo is in your 2nd house. And so these might be conversations around your personal finances. And what that's doing is it's going to trine Chiron retrograde in Aries. So that wound that you've been dealing with that maybe held you back from pursuing a higher education or doing something here that would grow you as a person in some sort of way. Whatever conversations you're having around your personal finances, healing conversations maybe around what you value, it's going to help you take some sort of action to heal that wound that's come to the surface. We'll also have Mercury in Virgo as sextile Mars in Cancer. And so those healing conversations, whatever it is that you're trying to express, how do you feel about your money, things like that, it's that kind of energy. It's going to create some sort of opportunity for you to take more action around what you feel. And it's an opportunity. This is something that you would have to action. It's not something that's just going to organically happen here. But these conversations connected to your finances really do give you an opportunity to express yourself and how you feel. Because that Mars in Cancer, again, is that internal you. That's where it's transiting. We'll have Mercury in Virgo square Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these conversations that you're having around your personal finances, it is creating some sort of obstacle or challenge relative to those changes that are happening in your career. And it just feels like again, we've kind of seen some things with the money that you earn versus the money that you have. And this kind of goes along with it when you think about the money that you earn, creating obstacles and challenges there in other areas this month. And now it's connected to your career. So more likely money that you're earning. Mercury in Virgo will square the moon in the sign of Scorpio, if I can get the word out. So any kind of conversations that you're having around your personal finances, again, this is the money that you already have. It's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to maybe how you feel at home, maybe changes that you want to take place at home, or feeling loyal to your family and just your home environment or the physical house as well. Because if we're talking personal finances, it could be the actual structure of your home. And then we have the full moon enter the full moon. Well, the full moon in the sign of Pisces. What I started to get out, it's not entering Pisces, it's in the sign of Pisces. But this one's pretty significant though. This one is a partial lunar eclipse. We are about to enter into the Pisces Virgo eclipse season. So getting out of the Aries Libra, we're almost done with this one. And this is our first taste of what this Pisces Virgo eclipse season is going to be like. And so during this full moon, you'll have the sun and you've got the moon. They're at opposite points in the sky. The sun in Virgo, very healing energy. So in this eclipse season that we're going into, this is the South Node. So this is where you feel comfortable. You feel comfortable having these conversations, expressing yourself, or you're very comfortable with being inside and thinking things through. Whereas Pisces energy is not grounded at all. Virgo, very grounded. Earth sign. Pisces, not so grounded. It's very kind of ethereal. Let's think about things and what is it? What are the possibilities? What can we achieve here? And so we'll have the moon in Pisces. We've got the sun in Virgo. The moon in Pisces, again, how do you feel about these goals and these dreams that you have for yourself? This eclipse season is going to be focused on your finances. So we have the sun in Virgo sitting in your personal finances, the money that you have. How do you feel about the money that you have? How do you express yourself? How do you maybe have conversations around what you value, what it is that you like about maybe your savings, kind of savings plan that you might have for yourself, because Virgo is like that. It'll be opposite moon in Pisces. So how do you feel about the money you're making? So you can already see kind of this, the money I'm making, the money I keep, what does that look like? This is where the push-pull comes into play. And so this is kind of the precursor to what this eclipse season is going to look like for you. We'll also have, so during any full moon, and the eclipse is no different here. During this eclipse, the sun and the moon will have different conversations with the planets. This one's actually one of the more positive ones. I have seen full moons that were just a lot of kind of conflicting energy. This one's not it. And so during this full moon, we'll have the sun in Virgo trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so how you feel, or I keep going back to how you feel because it's a healing energy with that Virgo. Expressing what you value, how do you feel about the money that you have? It's going to easily blend with whatever changes are happening in your career. And so there's something about your money and your career that just easily blend right now. It's very harmonious. There's no effort required on your part. And the moon in Pisces will sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So this one's also positive. But this one here, it's, okay, how do I feel about the money I'm making? It's going to create an opportunity for you to make more changes in your career. So like, let's say you're happy with the money that you're making right now, but you do want some sort of increase. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, you've got your own business and you want to figure out how to grow it. What this is doing is it's showing you ways to grow your income, something that you want to achieve. You would have to seize the opportunity. It's not just going to fall in your lap. You would have to pursue those leads to increase your business, but that would be a way that this energy might be showing up for you. We'll also have the sun in Virgo trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so again, your personal finances easily flowing with whatever changes you're trying to make in your daily life. This moon in Pisces energy will sextile Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so think about that entrepreneur going after pursuing business leads. So whatever goals that you've set for yourself, this is a form of transformation. You're changing something here. And what it's doing is it's creating an opportunity for you to make more changes in your daily life. And you can kind of see how all of this is actually really positive for you in the way that the energy is really kind of feeding off each other, the conversations the planets are having with each other. This one does get to be a little bit more difficult, but I don't think it's in a negative way at all. I actually think relative to what your goals are, this makes sense. So what we'll have is the sun and the moon are actually in a T-square with Jupiter in Gemini. And what this means is that both the sun during this full moon and the moon are going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge here. So your personal finances, expressing yourself through your personal finances, conversations around your personal finances, it's going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to any kind of growth that you want to see in your group of friends. So again, think about the money that you're maybe saving, don't want to spend, could be creating some sort of obstacle or challenge here. So is the money that you want to earn. That moon and Pisces energy is also going to square this. And so it's going to also create some sort of obstacle or challenge to growing or maybe spending more time with your friends. And again, that could really come back to maybe you're pursuing more leads and you don't have the time to spend with your friends, let alone really want to spend the money right now. We'll also have the sun in Virgo opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And that's not a surprise because you're already opposite the moon in Pisces. And so Neptune is right there as well. And so the conversations you're having around your personal finances, they're just directly opposite this Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so as you're thinking about the money that you make, any kind of additional transformation that you want in your life, anything that needs to change here, this is just a push-pull energy. Just like with that moon, you can find the happy medium, you just have to find it. And there's so much change taking place, that wouldn't surprise me. It probably is going to be easier to navigate this one more than some of the other oppositions that I've seen. And then we've got the moon in Pisces, will conjunct Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So how you feel about your transformation or the money that you're going after, your goals that you've set for yourself as it relates to money that you're earning, easily blend, nothing required on your part. It's going to feel really good and really solid there. And then on the 22nd, we'll have the sun enter the sign of Libra. So that's going to happen at 8:44 in the morning Eastern time. And so when the sun enters Libra, it will trine the moon in Gemini. And so the sun in Libra for you is sitting in your house of communication. So this is very balanced communication, really expressing yourself in a way that is very harmonious, very balanced. It's going to easily blend with how you feel about your friends. That's where the moon in Gemini is sitting. So where we saw a couple days earlier during the eclipse, maybe now's not the right time. Now we're getting into more harmonious time with your friends. The sun in Libra will also trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so the way that you're expressing yourself, that balanced conversation, that balanced communication that you're having will easily flow with whatever changes are taking place in your career or public reputation. The sun in Libra will also trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so when you think about those changes that you want to make in your daily life, the way that you're communicating right now, that very balanced, very harmonious energy, it's just going to easily flow. Again, no extra effort required on your part at all. These are all very harmonious, very positive. This is actually a really good month for you, Leo. We will have the sun in Libra square Jupiter in Gemini. And this is really just relative to the placements. And so we had the trine moon in Gemini, and that's just because of where it falls. And so this is an easy blend of that energy where you feel really good about the friends that you have. But now's not the time to do anything additional. Now's not the time to grow or expand or put yourself out there in a different way. It's more of you're going through so much transformation right now. Let the dust settle before you try to grow and expand anything. And that's pretty much a theme that I've noticed just in the way that the planets are all talking to each other. We will have the sun in Libra conjunct Mercury in Virgo. And so this is all conversation. This is all balanced expression. So this might be an instance where you're having a lot of really, really good conversations as it relates to your money. It feels very balanced, very harmonious, that there's nothing negative about these conversations. It does feel really good. And then we have the sun in Libra opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so that's sun in Libra. So any kind of balanced communication, the way that you're expressing yourself, it is going to be opposite to how you feel about these changes that are taking place. Or this could be opposite the money that is coming in, the money that you're earning right now, but it's probably more around all of these changes that are taking place. If I had to use one word to sum up September, it's going to be transformation. There's so much change taking place here. The same day that the sun enters Libra, we actually have Venus enter the sign of Scorpio. So that's going to happen on the 22nd at 10:36 in the evening Eastern time. And so Venus in Scorpio, Venus rules relationships. It likes harmony. It likes balance. Scorpio is very passionate, very loyal. And so when Venus is in Scorpio, it's like I mean, it's like turn up the heat here. It's a really, really loyal, passionate combination of energy. And so when this happens, we've got Venus in Scorpio trine Jupiter in Gemini. For you, Scorpio rules your fourth house of home. So you've got this something really harmonious happening at home. It feels really good. If you feel very loyal to your home and your home life. And that's going to easily blend now with growing or expanding your friends. So this might be an instance where you're maybe having people over. Again, this is towards the end of the month. So around the 22nd, it might feel like now's the time to really grow and expand, invite more people over, invite like the spouses of friends or friends of friends over, something along those lines. I mean, this is really growing your friendships, easily going to blend with maybe doing something out of the home. Venus in Scorpio will also square Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And this, I don't think this one's a negative at all. So being loyal at home or feeling loyal about home, passions, all those things in your home environment, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge here to the changes that are taking place maybe in your daily life. And again, like if you think about, I'm going to have a group of people over, I'm going to throw a party. And I'm going to invite all these people that I've always wanted to invite or people that I only know as kind of acquaintances. That would be different than your normal daily life. You don't do that on a regular basis. And so this square, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, just indicates that there are some obstacles and challenges to the changes that you're making in your daily life or taking place. I tried to blend a couple words there. So when you think about your daily life, it's just right now, it's just at odds with this, whatever you're doing in your home environment. Then we have Mercury enter the sign of Libra. So that's going to happen on the 26th at 4:09 in the morning Eastern time. And so when Mercury enters the sign of Libra, so we already have the sun here. We already know this is very balanced self-expression. Mercury's really the same energy. Mercury is communication. It's processing information. It's really the same. And in fact, when Mercury enters the sign of Libra, it's going to be conjunct the sun. So this is a lot of balanced expression. The way that you are talking to other people, the way that you're understanding all this information, all really positive here because it's sitting in your house of communication too. So it's like a ton of communication taking place. We'll also have Mercury in Libra trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so whatever balanced conversations that you're having right now, they're easily going to blend and they might even be related to whatever changes are taking place in your work environment. So your career or public reputation, those sudden internal changes easily blends with whatever you're communicating, however you're expressing yourself in that balanced way. Mercury in Libra will also trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And so these balanced conversations, it's going to easily blend with whatever changes are taking place in your daily life here. We'll have Mercury in Libra square Jupiter in Gemini. And so where we saw a couple days earlier, it was probably the right time to be around friends and grow your friends. Right now, not really that time. So whatever conversations you're having right now, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to growing or expanding that group of friends. And then we'll have Mercury in Libra opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so these balanced conversations that you're having are just opposite that transformation. Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So really thinking about what are your goals here? What do you need to change? What do you want to work on? Reevaluating those goals. This is where it's going to be opposite, but you can kind of see that already because Libra is a very balanced energy. And then you've got all this transformation sitting at the opposite point. That makes sense. It's either one or the other. You can't have it doesn't really work balanced transformation in this way because you're getting rid of things. And so the end result might be that, but during the process, it's not going to be that balanced. And so it's an opposition. You can work with the energy. You just have to figure out where that happy medium is. So Leo, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.